strong is Tim Daggett's performance? His 56-60 all-around score doesn't really tell us how he usually fares in the floor X.
Tim Daggett is exceptionally strong in floor exercise, but he is just great in all the events. 9-4 his first round gives you an indication. But at the same time, Tim's real strength in the all-around is his consistency and his powerful performances at all the events. From UCLA, a junior, here's his mount. Round off flip-flop, high pike double back. Watch this, a V-sit. He's on his fingertips with his thumb pointing forward. It's hard enough just to put your hands in that position, let alone hold a V-sit and press to a handstand as effortlessly as Tim has just done.
Can all the judges see that, though?
Yes, they can. They're very aware of that. Front step out, round off full. Very nice, clean, smooth. Member of the World Championship team last year. Very nice sequence. Very easy Stalder roll-up for Tim. Tremendous upper body strength. Very powerful athlete. Handspring, piked front. Transition into the corner. Now showing a scale, balance and hold, showing good flexibility. Preparing now for the dismount. Here comes back, round off flip-flop. High tuck double back, good exercise. Tim Daggett, great dismount. Once again, pleased with his performance.
And he is very pleased with his performance. He is smiling, clapping his hands, and he's expecting a good score, and he certainly deserves it.
Okay, way better than yesterday. Good job. Okay.
Comment from Makoto Sakamoto. He said, I think it's way better than yesterday. Although it was still had a good routine yesterday, although he had a little bit of bobble on the ending where here's his mount, pike double back, nice and high, turns right out, remains in the area. Give you a chance now to see another tumbling pass. Watch how effortlessly and smooth he is. Nice height. Front step out. Round off, nice high. Lay out back somersault, full twist. Plenty of time to look for his landing. And now the dismount. Good aggressive run. Typical of Tim Daggett's style. Good lift, good spin, double back somersault. Landing, set it up, dismount. Good job.
9.50, the score for Tim Daggett. So his score is better than his performance in the preliminary rounds. Jim Mikus coming into this competition with a 55-25 all-around score in the earlier competition. He is quite an all-around performer himself. How does he fare on the floor X?
This is one of Jim's better events, and it was interesting because he did not have a good meet in the preliminary round, although he got through to the semifinals. If Jim has a good day, he'll give anybody in the country a good run for their money. Let's watch his mount. Round off flip-flop. Triple twisting back somersault. Made it look easy. Very well done, and a skill that's not normally performed in floor exercise. Very unique skill. Here's his press to handstand from the V. Once again. On the fingertips to give them that extra inch or two in order to get their feet between their hands. Next pass, handspring brandy, flip-flop, 1.5 twisting back dive. Nice combination, very smooth. From the University of Nebraska, Jim was an outstanding performer in Nebraska's NCAA championship team last year. Coming back now into the corner. Full twist dive roll, makes it look easy. Jump to prone. Kind of a scissor spin to a pose. Back extension roll. Back to the corner. He's now preparing for his dismount. This will tell the tale of his whole exercise. The rest has been really good. Round up the flop. Double back somersault and a fall. Oh, that's unfortunate. He had a real good exercise going up to there. The fall will cost him 2 or 3, maybe 4 tenths. Also, he went out of the area. That's another 1 or 2 tenths. So that is going to substantially hurt Jim Mikus. That's too bad.
Unfortunately, Tim Daggett had to have a rough finish. Boy, it was flawless. Let's take another look.
Let's watch his triple twist. Round off. Back handspring. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Look at. Finished it. Made it look easy. Good job, Jim. Here's a full twist dive roll. Jumps to a prone. Look at the nice form. Keeping the legs straight, toes pointed. part of the requirement in floor exercise, as it is in most of the men's events. Get a chance to see the little problem he had here. Round off, flip-flop. Casted it back a little bit, pulled his feet underneath him, had his seat behind him, didn't have a center of gravity over his balance point to cause him to sit back.
And the 2 or 3 tenths shows right there his final score, 9.00. So Tim Daggett is our winner in the men's floor exercise competition. We'll be right back with the women's competition. Their first event is the vault.
Excellent form in the air. Handspring, pike front 1.5. Very nice. Good landing, excellent routine.
Her score for that performance, 9.70. Now this is Barrie Muzbeck's first vault.
Barrie's a very good vaulter. She's running very aggressively down the runway, hits the board, makes her contact with the horse, and it looks like her legs were bent a little bit early. Caused her to be a little slow in her rotation, but she opens up a little bit early and makes her fall back, loses her balance.
And her coach talked to her after that performance and gave her some advice.
Right there, just opened a little early. Okay, just do the same. On your feet.
Barrie Muzbeck received an 8.90, and let's see how well she heeds her coach's advice in her second vault.
Let's see if she makes any corrections in this vault. She ran into a little trouble on the first one. Hits the board in good position. Comes off. Looks like she maybe not have gotten enough top on it. Looked like she was in real good shape again, but kicked out just a little bit early, causes her to fall back. That's too bad.
But she did get a better score, 8.90. But our leader after one event in the vault is Mary Lou Retton. Now Jim Mikus and Tim Daggett are ready to go at it again. This time it's on the pommel horse. Remember, Tim Daggett has a 0.5 of 1 point lead. In the first round, he scored at 9.55 on this event.
Here's Tim's pommel horse exercise. Very aggressive pommel horse worker, very strong, doing a lot of skills behind the back, breaking into a very nice flare. Good scissor turn, reverse scissor, comes back, circles, back more to the end, flare in the end, right up to the handstand. Good exercise for Tim Daggett. You know, Leandra, it wasn't too long ago, a year or two ago, that pommel horse was kind of a hard event for Tim, and now it's one of his better events.
I'm sure that has come through hard work. Let's take another look at that fine performance.
Okay, notice the hand placement, how important it is for him to gain his composure, maintaining his balance, up through the handstand, beautiful dismount. Tim Daggett from UCLA.
And he obviously is pleased with that performance, as is his coach. So Tim Daggett, solid after 2 events out of 6. But the individual events really don't matter. It's the all-around total that will advance him to the finals if he can outscore Jim Mikus. And he received some congratulations from other gymnasts involved in the competition, although not this round. The score has been flashed now for Tim Daggett. It is a 9.60. So Tim Daggett has done better in this round than he did in the earlier competition. 8.75 was Jim Mikus' score in the earlier rounds. Let's see if he can better that mark right now.
That puts a lot of pressure on Jim after Tim came back with such a fine exercise. So Jim really needs a good set here. He had a slight fall in the floor exercise event, overturned his dismount, double back somersault, and so here he is, ready to mount the pommel horse. Starts with a couple of pommel circles. Hand almost slipped, but he caught it. Back more down to the end. Back more is all the way across the horse. Back down to the end. Hops into the center. There's his flare, his leg break. A couple of front scissors. He's moving very well so far. Back to circles. Travels down to the end. Walk around in the end. Flare off. Kind of looked like he had a little error at the end, Leandra. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the judges score that. It's hitting not his normal dismount.
The flare usually means you're parallel with the ground, and he was a little bit lower than parallel. All right, we have a split screen here. Tim Daggett on top. Let's take another look at his performance.
Here's Tim's scissors, showing good extension. Now there's the half turn. Toes are pointed, legs are straight, just the way they're supposed to be. Picks back up into his circles. Travels down to the end. And up through the flare movement, right up through the handstand and the dismount. Very nice by Tim Daggett.
And with the magic of television, let's take another look at Jim Mikus' routine.
Here's Jim's scissors. fulfilling the requirement of the scissors on the pommel horse, and there's a reverse scissor. You must do one of each, minimum. Travels now down to the end of the horse. Walk around and a flare off. Looked like it was his normal dismount. The only thing was he didn't get it as high as he normally does.
9.25 to score for Tim Daggett, for Jim Mikus rather, so Tim Daggett has a .85 lead after 2 events. We're ready now for the uneven parallel bar competition, Muzbeck versus Retton. Right now, Mary Lou Retton has a .80 lead going into this event, and Mary Lou Retton is about to perform her mount.
She jumps to the high bar with a half turn, cast to a handstand, belly whip, right up to the handstand, stalled her, belly whip, and there's a front flip right to the high bar, shoots to a handstand on the low bar, half turn up to the high bar, front hip circle, cast a handstand, free hip circle, puts her feet on the bar, and a front with a half dismount in the pike position. Good exercise for Mary Lou, a real dynamite performer.
Add to that she did that over the low bar, another element of risk involved in that dismount. She's a tough competitor. She received a 9.8 in the first round of competition on that routine. And I don't know if she did that better or worse than that score. That was a tough routine, and 9.8's a tough score. It'll be interesting to see what she gets for this performance.
Shoots to a free hip circle, puts her feet on the bar, shoots out, high pike, looking for the ground, half turn, one step to the side. Nice routine, Mary Lou Retton.
And her score has been flashed. It is a 9.65. Solid performance. Evidently, she was penalized for some minor flaws, nothing major that we could see from our position. So Barrie Muzbeck is ready to perform. 9.45 is what she received in the first round. And these scores are not carried over. We're just using these as a reference point so you can see the strength of the gymnast possibly in this event.
Swing, swing, swing.
That's her coach. Good advice. Swing, swing, swing.
Barrie has to come back with a strong performance here. Jumps in, stalled her hop, back stalled her, pirouette, toe on toe off right to the handstand, drops down, double leg shoot through, kip up to the high bar, cast right to the handstand, belly whip, heck over the high bar. Very interesting skill. Front hip circle, cast to the handstand, pirouette, belly whip, nice high back upright, puts her feet on the bar, and a pike to front dismount off. Very nice routine. She had one little minor error, and I really don't know if it was an error. It looked like just a little break in the continuity.
How's the hip? That pike was good. Very pleased again.
He asked her how her hip was when he first was talking with her. I wonder if she's mildly hurt. Let's take another look.
There's that straddle hecked over the bar. She drops. Regains her tipping movement up to the top. Front hip circle. Cast right to the handstand. Puts her feet on the bar. Pushes off. High pike front dismount. One step forward. Nice routine for Barrie Muzbeck. We get another chance here to see the dismount. There's a high back uprise. Puts her feet on the bar. Shoots out. Look at the nice form. Legs straight, toes pointed. Looking for the ground. Barrie Muzbeck.
And her score for the performance, 9.40. So by a .25 margin, Mary Lou Retton has defeated Barrie Muzbeck on the uneven parallel. Daggett, right now Tim Daggett has a .85 lead after 2 events.
This is a strong event for Tim. Had a 9.5 in the first round. And most definitely he has the potential of scoring even better than that. He's getting his grips all ready, chalking up, making sure they feel just right.
Tim Daggett so far has about a 9.55 average. So 9.5 yesterday or earlier rather in the spring competition is right on the mark for him. Although you're right, he has the skill to score higher. And I'm sure he'd like to. Some of his fans yelling, "Go Tim," before he mounts.
He's being lifted up here by his coach, Makoto Sakamoto from UCLA. Pulls up, dislocates, straight arm shoot to handstand, straight arm giant right to the handstand. Nice stretched handstand, good body position. Bails out, straight arm back giant right to the handstand. Keeping the rings nice and still, powers down. Look at a Maltese flange, lowers right to the cross. Makes it look easy. Kip up to an L. Very strong performer. Press to the handstand with straight arms. Bail out. Full twisting double back. Good landing. Good exercise for Tim Daggett.
He's happy, so's his coach.
Shaking hands there with Art Sherlock, the head coach at UCLA. Here's the power down to the Maltese. Look at that position right there. Just think about stopping your body there. Lowering down and then holding yourself in an iron cross. Wow. Connection. Kip up to the L position. Very nice. Get a chance to see his full twisting double back somersault. Pulls his legs underneath. Perfect landing. Great exercise for Tim Daggett.
And Tim Daggett is awaiting his score. And it should be a pretty good one. Well, they steady the rings, and the judges get prepared for our next competitor. 9.60 for Tim Daggett on the still rings. Jim Mikus has his work cut out for him at Easter Ketchen in this single elimination competition.
Our 1983 member of the U.S. national team, Jim Mikus.
9.15 was the score that Jim received in the earlier rounds. His fourth all-around in the 82 NCAA championships.
Jim is being lifted up by Francis Allen, the coach of the 1980 USA Olympic team and the head coach at the University of Nebraska. Jim pulls up, cast, whip it, right to a cross. Getting the requirements out of the way of showing a strength move. Back up rise to a straddle L position. Presses to a handstand with straight arms. Very nice. Bail out. Back up rise to handstand. He's got a little swing going. He's going to have to try to correct that. Giant. Full twisting double back. Good exercise for Jim Mikus. One little step on the dismount. Didn't quite have the precision of the Daggett exercise, but at the same time, obviously, he met all his requirements, and I'm sure you're going to see a pretty good score. Here's a whip it, like an inlocate right to a support, and then he lowers down to the cross, fulfilling the strength requirement. Yes, back up rise, up to the L position. Here's the dismount. Big dislocate, just like on the horizontal bar. Full twisting double back, looking for the ground. One step back. Good ending. Nice exercise for Jim Mikus.
And his score for that performance is 9.20. Tim Daggett has defeated Jim Mikus by a 0.4 point margin in this event. So the men are... You are looking at Jim Mikus right now. He is going to vault first. And before we get our vault underway, I'd like to introduce somebody who has joined us in the booth. His name is Tom Beach, NCAA champion, 1976 Olympic team member, and has been on the national team from 1976 to 1982. Welcome, Tom Beach, and your comments on the vault. What's going through Jim Mikus' mind right about now?
All he thinks about is just sticking the vault. Both him and Tim will do a pike double front. And he was our last year's champion at the USGF champion. Not a bad vault at all. It's nice when all I have to do is worry about landing.
Mike Jack, your analysis of that vault?
Of course, Tom ought to know. He's a former NCAA vaulting champion. Let's take a look at Jim's jump. Good hard push, nice top, good form, nice rotation. He's looking for the landing, opens up, little hop forward. Very nice vault, and you're going to see some very good scores for Jim Mikus.
And they have just posted the score. It is a 9.70 for Jim Mikus. And you'll see Tim Daggett's first round score there, 9.70. 9.7, I think, was a fair score for Jim. And Tim Daggett is going to have his work cut out for him if he wants to take this event.
Tim's a very powerful vaulter. He's going to very aggressive run, very hard push, lots of distance. Good jump for Tim. It'll be interesting to see how they compare score-wise. He had good lift, a little bit of step at the end. Good jump. Tom?
Well, Tim's a little bit more powerful, but I think Jimmy Mikus did a little bit cleaner ball, so I think Jimmy's going to have it. If you notice, he almost knocks the horse over when he pushes on it, but his feet are apart. He's opening up now for the landing. He's just got too much height. He can't control it. He almost goes clear off the mat.
And the score, 9.75. So the judges did not penalize him too severely for that step at the end of the match. Now we're ready for our balance beam competition. You are looking at Barrie Muzbeck preparing herself. She is going to compete first against Mary Lou Retton. Muzbeck is down by a little over a point to Retton at this point in the competition.
This is going to have to be the most crucial event for the girls. Barrie comes in with an 8.85 after the first round, and that's not a normal score for Barrie. Normally she's much better on the balance beam, but she did have a fall on the first round, so we'll have to see how she does here.
That score is not carried over, however. We're just using it for reference.
She jumps to a planche position, showing good flexibility and good strength, good balance. Goes over to one arm, back up to the top. We'll see some very interesting parts by Barrie. Some unique disciplines that she has. Back handspring, nice and solid. Out of a split handstand position, she snapped right down into two back handsprings. A nice split leap, showing good amplitude. That means good extension and good height. There's a full turn, a little bobble, regains her composure. Front aerial walkover, very solid, nicely done. Picks up, scissors through a handstand, showing good flexibility on that needle position. Turn on the beam. Get a chance to see how much room her feet have, and it's not very much when you think about the skills that they're performing. The beam is 10 centimeters wide, which is less than 4 inches. Back walkover, back tuck somersault, very nice. And if the center of gravity goes outside of the line of the beam, believe me, you end up on the ground. Here's a Barrie Muzbeck special. Cartwheel to a handstand and a front walkover the wrong way. Extremely difficult. And she's going to do another one on the opposite leg. Very well done, extremely difficult. Well, that's the part that she had trouble with, wasn't it, Leandra?
Right, in the first routine, she fell off after a little balance problem. Good dismount. She knew she had to stay on. She knew she had to stay on if she was going to catch Mary Lou Retton at all, and she did it.
Very nice exercise for Barrie, and I think we're going to see some good scores, and I know her coach is pleased.
Very good. Great. That's yours. Do what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And those two walkovers. Much better. Lifted over the top.
I took a little bit slower that time. And I didn't relax.
It was good. Okay, let's get ready for the floor.
And he's telling her to get ready for floor as we take another look at Barrie Muzbeck on the balance beam.
Once again, that beam is not very wide considering the skills that are performed. And just think about not only the fact that Barrie performed skills going down the length of the beam, she even did it sideways on the beam.
Tom Beach, your thoughts on her performance on the balance beam?
Well, I wouldn't want to have done it, but she did pretty good to me. We have hard enough time with the pommel horse, and that's a little bit wider than the beam. It's a nice dismount. It's just a full twist off. She probably could use a little bit more there, and you could even get a couple more tenths.
9.60, the score for Barrie Muzbeck, and you see Mary Lou Retton here. The preliminary round, she scored a 9.20. Mike?
Well, this is a real key event for Mary Lou. She has had some consistency problems on this event, although she did a good job in the preliminary rounds. So we're going to be watching carefully, and of course the pressure is on because Barrie came through with a fine exercise. But Mary Lou's got lots of difficulty. Round up, lay out, back step out, and she's off. If I'm not mistaken, she had the same problem in the preliminaries.
Yeah, she did come off last night.
That hurts because she loses an automatic 0.5 of a point. Plus, there's some psychological problems sometimes that occur because now she knows that she can't afford to make any more mistakes.
Right, a fall is about a 0.5 point, and she only has a 1-point lead on Barrie Muzbeck, and Muzbeck was awesome in hers with a 9.6. So that already is a challenge.
Now here she comes back. 2 scissor split loops right in a row. Very well done. That's a very difficult combination. Looks like there's a little performer down in the right-hand corner that's enjoying the exercise.
A little girl miming.
There's a pike front on the balance beam. That's hard enough on the floor with just 1 or 2 steps, and she's doing it on the 4-inch wide beam. The beam, by the way, is about 16 feet long. Here's a straddle jump. It's best to get your legs back down in time when you're performing that.
Yes, I would say that's the safe way to finish a straddle jump.
Cannot have any hesitations or stops. Round off, double back somersault, beautiful dismount, and that's going to make a big difference, Leandra, because with the fall, she needed to make sure that she didn't have any extra additional deductions, and so the dismount was critical, and she did a very nice dismount. But again, it'll be interesting to see what the judges come up with.
Tom Beach, your thoughts on the routine?
Well, she's incredible. If you look at her thighs, you know, it's bigger than most of the guys that are there. She's about half her height. She falls off there. I think she gets a little anxious at the end of the round off before she takes off. But she sure makes up for it going for the dismount. Oh, she's using a little cricket there, but boy, does she ever go up in the air.
And of course, the judges aren't getting this angle. They rarely sit at the length end of the beam. They're sideways, so the crookedness doesn't really get as accented as it did with our camera. There you see her score, 9.30, so Barrie Muzbeck did gain 0.3 of a point, and now she only trails Mary Lou Retton by about 0.75. We'll confirm those numbers for you.
Leandra, Jim has his work cut out for him in the last 2 events, and he's also going to have some help from Tim Daggett. Backward front flip catch, straddle cut, swing to handstand, pirouette. Swings down, diamond off to the handstand. Layaway front up rise. Hops over the full turn to 1 bar, straddle, glide up, presses to a handstand on 1 bar. Very nice. Keeps going on a double back dismount. A little bit short on the double back, but pretty good exercise. He lacked a little bit of completion on a few skills. It seemed like he didn't quite finish. Tom?
Well, he does everything so precise that it makes him real beautiful to watch. But he doesn't really have the big risk elements that are necessary to draw a big score. You know, here on this move, it's real pretty. It's a little slow. And the dismount here, he's a little tired maybe. He doesn't complete his push. And he could have held on just a little longer and stuck it. But overall, a pretty clean exercise.
Interesting that you brought out exhaustion or fatigue, I should say, not exhaustion, because these gymnasts who advance to the finals will compete it 3 times. Now, this is the 2nd time he's thrown a full set on all events. 9.40 his score, and fatigue will become a factor as this competition continues, particularly in the next round for those who win here in this rotation. Tim Daggett is ready to perform now. He received a 9.25 in his first round of competition for this event.
Leandra, Tim is just, a real dynamic performer. I think he's going to rip the bars out of the ground if they didn't go in the right place for him.
Well, take a look at his coach, stabilizing them on the mount as he swings from bar to bar. An interesting thing. I've seen Dakota Sakamoto.
They called Tim the bull.
Stutz hand backhand sequence. Hop pirouette right to the handstand. Stutz right to the handstand. Look at his aggressiveness. Very important. And a big double back. Nice routine for Tim Daggett. Always, if Tim Daggett usually makes any mistakes at all, they're on the championship side. He over-rotates rather than under-rotates.
There's not much you can say after a routine like that as a coach. There you see the coach, and they're stabilizing the bars. He is so
an
aggressive.
Original part for Tim. It's a stalder to handstand. It's the only one I know in the world that does it. And you can see the difference in the stalder press that Jim Mikus also did. It goes up much easier. This hand, look at him lift on the back top. He's just bouncing the bars around. Front uprise, hop pirouette. Now comes his dismount, and just look at him push. Like Mike said, he always has a little bit too much.
Get a chance to look at the dismount here, and he really pulls the legs in hard, has good form, looks for his landing, a little bit over-rotated. I think you'll agree, Tom, if you're going to be one way or the other, it's usually better to be on that side.
9.60, the score for Tim Daggett in that event. He defeats Jim Mikus by 0.2 of a point in the parallel bar competition. Barrie Muzbeck, Mary Lou Retton preparing for their final event. This is Barrie Muzbeck, and she has a lot on her mind right now. She has got to make up 0.75 if she is to defeat Mary Lou Retton. 9.2 is what she received on her first floor exercise routine. And as you can see, she is a member of the USA national team in 1982.
Barrie is a very good floor exercise performer, a good tumbler, round-off flip-flop, high pike double back, a little bit short, but pulls it out in good shape. Fast-paced, lively music.
Now remember, she was coming this competition right after surgery on her ankle. That's why they may seem a little picked up. One of her ankles had some screws removed from ligament damage.
Moving into the corner for the next pass. Round up flip-flop. Double twisting back somersault. Change of pace in the music. Good extension in all the things she does. Some hand pirouettes. Getting ready for a final tumbling pass. Round off flip-flop, full twisting back somersault. Barrie Muzbeck.
Nice performance. The crowd likes it. She's getting quite an applause. Good tumbling passages, fine dance. Her flexibility really shows up when she does some of her leg extensions and
Good.
kicks.
Hip soar. Good double. You went way up. You waited for it. Good. Double forwards a little cleaner too.
Didn't go to bounds.
Right. You're about there. It stayed in it. Extra tenth tonight.
Thank you.
Good job. You need to get a drink?
Need to go to bed.
So Barrie Muzbeck is going to get a refreshment while we take another look at her tumbling.
Okay, what she's doing here is a double full twisting somersault. And there's a little bit of form break, but she really does pretty well. Okay, this is just a full twist. I think she's feeling a little bit tired from the whole competition, but it's always nice to finish with a real solid routine, and there weren't any major problems with that I could see.
9.30. Thought that was a little low for the performance, but we'll have to see how she fares against Mary Lou Retton, because this is a head-to-head comparison. Barrie Muzbeck was concerned about going out of bounds. She did that in the first round. She was happy this time that she didn't. Right now, Mary Lou Retton, as you can see, she needs an 8.55 to tie and 8.60 to win. And her tumbling, she's got the difficulty to get that score easy.
Leandra, she's one of the probably most powerful tumblers in the world. Watch this. Run up, flip-flop. Lay out double back somersault. She made it look easy. I haven't seen too many guys be able to do it that well.
I haven't seen too many guys do it.
In her aggressiveness, she reminds me a lot of Tim Daggett.
Yeah, that's true. They're real similar along the same lines. They throw everything into it and just pray they come down in the right place.
Coming back, getting some cheers from the crowd.
This will be through to a double back. It's unbelievable. Oh, she touched it out.
Normally something she doesn't do, and she probably didn't have to.
Nice leg extension up. Good dance moves, turns to the corner. And remember, she is going non-stop and having to put power tumbling into this. It's almost like aerobics. Solid minute and a half.
Round off flip-flop, high double back. And just, again, on the championship side, over-rotated. Just a ball of fire. You can't stop her. Mary Lou Retton.
Remember, she needs an 8.60. If she has 2 falls in this routine, this score is in jeopardy. She put her hands down on her double back, and she rolled again out of dismount. This score could be questionable right now, whether or not she can pull out an all-around victory over Barrie Muzbeck. Muzbeck's score was a 9.3, but her total is a little higher. Coach's advice, always helpful right after an event when the things that happen are fresh in your mind. Let's take another look at some of her tumbling. Barrie Muzbeck, a dynamic tumbler in the United States.
Scott Johnson, a little consolation for a couple of the minor errors that Mary Lou made.
Oh, her score is up first, 9.00, so she did manage to salvage an all-around victory, although she did not win the floor exercise event. So Mary Lou Retton, 9.00, gives her the all-around title. Let's take another look at the tumbling cast.
Handspring, layout front step out, very difficult. She's going to do it to a double back. Good lift. I don't think she could believe she was that high.
It looks like she just opened her legs a second too early, didn't have to.
Just a little bit.
And we know the score, 9.0. Mary Lou Retton is our winner unofficially in the all-around. We'll have final computations later. We still have one more event for the men. It's a horizontal bar. Let's see what happens. Stay with us. Jim Mikus, Tim Daggett are ready to approach their last event, the horizontal bar. 1.5, the difference between these two competitors. Tim Daggett has the advantage. Jim Mikus is going to compete first. He received a 9.00 in his first horizontal bar performance in the first round. Right now, he'll try to better that mark. Mike?
Okay, here's Jim's horizontal bar routine. Mounts with a cast, back uprise to a Stalder. Full twisting one-arm giant swing, very nicely done. Scoops his legs between his hands into inverted giants. Hops out, Stalder, half turn or pirouette change. And there's his Tkachev or reverse hex, very nice. He had a little trouble with that in the preliminary round. The regular Stalder, he's doing very nicely so far. Giant, preparing for the dismount. Full twisting double back. A little bit close to the bar, caused him to sit back a little bit and over-rotate, but good exercise.
So Jim Mikus, pleased with that performance? Well, he should be. It was a good performance. A little bit of trouble at the end. Shouldn't be too much of a discount of the score.
Here's his Stalter, and he's coming up, and he'll do a reverse hex. It's named after a Russian gymnast, Tkachev, who did it first. He has pretty good lift. Very clean, nice, easy catch. He fell off on it last night, but he seemed to handle it pretty well tonight. Okay, now his dismount, he just holds on. Oh, here's the Tkachev again. Nice, easy catch. Stalter. He's winding up for the dismount. It's a little close, but pretty clean, and a little over rotation on the landing. This should be a pretty decent score.
And the score he received is very decent, 9.65 for Jim Mikus. Now Tim Daggett ready to compete. He is trucking up. Earlier in the competition, he received a 9.20. So 9.65 is going to be a challenge for Tim, unless he has an exceptional routine.
Tim had a fall in the preliminary round, and so that's why his score was lower than it normally is. Again, a very powerful high bar performer. Cast over the top, right into an endo shoot or an inside Stalder. Toe on, right to a Tkachev, and that's the same thing he did the first time. It's kind of an interesting combination. It's a difficult combination, and gee, sometimes Tim is so powerful he just ends up a long way away from the bar.
It looks so incredible when you fall from such a height.
Yeah, it's a long ways down, I'll tell you. Here it is again. He just pulls a little bit too long over the bar and can't get back to it. Okay, we're back to the routine now. Straddle cut catch, Stalter, another Stalter, hop, inverts.
Now he's doing his inverted giants. Half turn out, be beating for his dismount, giant, and a layout double back somersault. Once again, Leandra, it's really too bad that he had that miss because he's got a great exercise, good dismount, a lot of different things, different combinations, some very unique, precise things that are in his exercise. But again, it's just totally disrupted when you've got that fall. He's beating now, getting ready for his dismount, and a layout double back somersault. Nice straight body, a very pretty dismount, and very well executed.
I think he's smiling because he didn't get hurt. That was quite a spill he took, and he certainly regained his composure to finish the rest of that routine. And this might be creating a little bit of a dilemma for the judges because it was a good performance with the exception of that one flaw. The judges are still tabulating their score. Now they are flashing it. It is a 9.20, I believe. 9.20, the score that I see. Yeah, right. That's a 9.20 for Tim Daggett. So Jim Mikus defeated Tim Daggett on the high bar. We'll be back to wrap up all of the scores and all of the results. Stay with us. By a .45 margin, Barrie Muzbeck lost to Mary Lou Retton. All-around total, 37-65 to 37-20. So Mary Lou Retton will advance. In the men's competition, Tim Daggett defeated Jim Mikus 57-25 to 56-20. So Tim Daggett will advance along with Mary Lou Retton first in the women's competition. Your thoughts on Mary Lou Retton?
I think Mary Lou's really going to have to be more consistent if she expects to be one of the contenders in this event.
And for the men?
For men, Tim Daggett definitely is a contender for this event.
All righty, I'd like to thank Tom Beach for all of his comments during this telecast. Mike, Jackie, thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you. I'm Leigh Andrade saying so long and reminding you to watch the championship finals and the single elimination championship in Nevada. Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye-bye.